There is a kind of exhaustion that does not always come from working too much. Sometimes it appears when you feel that, beyond fulfilling your responsibilities, you have to prove every day that you are still useful, efficient, and necessary enough to keep your place. Can begin quietly. You try to respond faster, accept more tasks than you should, or avoid admitting that something is difficult for you. There may be no direct threat, but the possibility of being replaced, passed over for a promotion, or seen as less committed starts changing the way you work. Welcome INSPIRA Plus. Thank you to those who are already part of this community and have returned for another reflection. And if you arrived here simply out of curiosity, you are welcome too. Today we are going to talk about a pressure that is becoming increasingly common in the workplace. Feeling that doing your job well is no longer enough because you also have to constantly prove that you deserve to keep it. The job market changes quickly. New tools appear, new ways of automating tasks emerge, and expectations can shift in a short period of time. In that environment, it is easy to start believing that slowing down, asking for help, or admitting that we need to learn something new could make us look less valuable. So we begin to compensate. We stay longer even when our work is already done. We answer messages outside working hours. We accept responsibilities that are not really ours. We try to remain available even when no one has directly asked us to. All of it is meant to quiet a fear in the background. If I do not do more than everyone else, maybe someone will decide I am no longer necessary. The problem is that this way of thinking has no clear finish line. We can always respond faster, take on another task, learn another tool, or stay connected a little longer. If our sense of security depends on constantly pushing beyond our own limits, no amount of effort will ever feel like enough. Working from fear can also change the decisions we make. Instead of focusing on doing something well, we start thinking about which actions will be more visible. We avoid admitting mistakes because they might be interpreted as a lack of ability. We may even stop sharing knowledge with others if we believe that being the only person who can solve a certain problem makes us safer. But that behavior has a cost. Someone who feels they must constantly defend their position can become exhausted, distrustful, and far less willing to experiment or learn. Paradoxically, trying to appear indispensable can weaken the very qualities that make someone valuable to a team: collaboration, clear thinking, recognizing limits, and adapting. It is also important to distinguish between a concern based on facts and pressure that we may have started creating internally. If layoffs have been announced, major changes are happening in the company, or there are clear signs of instability, preparing yourself makes sense. Updating your skills, organizing your finances, or exploring alternatives can be practical responses. But if there is no specific threat and you still live every workday as if you have to defend your job, then perhaps the question is no longer only what is happening at work, but what you are demanding from yourself. A job takes up an important part of life, but it cannot become the only measure of your worth. A negative review, a project that went wrong, or even losing a job can have real consequences, but none of those situations summarizes everything a person knows, can learn, or can contribute somewhere else. This does not mean becoming complacent or giving up on effort. It means changing the reason behind that effort. There is a major difference between improving because you want to grow and improving because you feel that every mistake could prove you do not deserve to be there. It may help to ask yourself a few questions. Are you responding to real expectations or to expectations you have assumed? Does your workplace actually require constant availability? Or are you afraid to disconnect? Are you learning new skills because they interest you, or because you feel that you never know enough? How much of your daily energy goes into your work, and how much goes into proving that you are a good worker? Answering those questions will not remove every uncertainty about work, but it may help you identify which pressures are coming from the outside and which ones have settled inside you. No job offers absolute security. Companies change, professions evolve, and some tasks disappear while others emerge. Trying to control all of that uncertainty through constant effort can leave us exhausted before the thing we fear ever happens. it may be more useful to build a different kind of security. Keep learning, take care of your professional relationships, understand what you do well, and accept that you can also learn what you do not yet know. Thank you for joining us on INSPIRA Plus. Here we continue reflecting on how the demands of modern life affect the way we think, work, and relate to ourselves. Doing your job well matters, but you should not have to spend every workday trying to prove that you deserve to exist within it.